The AI world can be very confusing, especially when it comes to building AI applications, but after this video, it will be very clear. So, I'm Ardit, I'm a programmer, I'm a teacher on Udemy. In this video, I want to make sure that you understand the entire ecosystem when it comes to AI and developing AI applications. Let's begin here on the left. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. I'm starting here because most likely you have heard and you have used these tools. So these are chatbots. Here's an example. So a chatbot is an application which allows the user, you, to use an LLM. And that brings us to the other concept, LLMs. So which stands for Large Language Model. This is a computer program. And so this application here, for example, Perplexity, but we also have ChatGPT, Claude, and the Google Gemini, this application connects to an LLM. So when you send a query to here, to the input box as a user, this is just a web app, or it can be a mobile application where you are using it on your mobile. And that text is sent from this web app or this mobile application to the LLM, right? So this is a separate program, the LLM, also called a model, but it's a program basically. And so that web app and this LLM communicate with each other. So the LLM processes your query and it sends out the output to the app, and you see that output here. So chatbots are LLMs plus user interfaces. Now these here, Gemini Flash, GPT-4o, these are LLMs, so models, and there are different ones out there. So an app, a chatbot, can use one of these models, and sometimes you can change that. For example, here in Perplexity, there is an icon somewhere there, and you can press that icon and it will allow you to select the model. So each model has some slight differences, but they all do a great job to provide with very intelligent answers. Now, ChatGPT has various GPT models. Gemini has various Gemini models, for example, Gemini Flash or Gemini Pro. Claude has its own models, and this is one of them. So Claude is a chatbot, and it has models. Perplexity also can have multiple models. So far, so good. So far, we've been at the user level. So if you're a user, you have used these things, but if you're a developer, you want to make an application, then we go into another area, building AI apps. So we have several concepts now, right? We have AI apps, we have RAGs, we have AI agents, and I'll explain everything in detail. So what is an AI app? Well, this here, a chatbot, is basically an AI app, but typically when we talk about AI apps or AI-powered apps, we don't refer to these popular chatbots. We refer to some other things which can allow the user to chat with the model, with the LLM, plus do some extra things. So not only chatting, but have some other capabilities. So you as a programmer can write Python code, which has a user interface, a graphical user interface, typically, for example, a web app or a mobile app, a desktop app. And this interface, just like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude, so this interface also interacts with the LLM, right? Now, the way it does that, I'll talk in just a minute about that. But basically, this app will allow the user to send a prompt. It will send the prompt to the LLM, and then usually, typically, we also add some other extra functions. For example, if you're building this with Python code, which is typical for building AI-powered apps, you're going to write some functions which do some extra things which the LLM might not do. For example, the LLMs typically don't show the time, or they don't calculate how many characters are in a prompt. So these features can be added through Python functions. So when you do, for example, a query such as, oh, give me the date, then the app will send that query to the LLM. And the LLM, if it doesn't know that answer, it will search for the appropriate function in the code and get the result from that function, for example, today's date, and it will send that to the user together with the answer. So it will prepare a very good answer, not just the date, but it will talk to you by giving you the date also. Another example could be if you want, for example, to make an app where you communicate with the AI through a chat and you can ask for flights, so to give you the latest flights from somewhere to somewhere. So you can have a function which accesses a flight API, so it gets real API, real flight data from that API, and the LLM will get the result of that function and it will return an answer with the flights. And perhaps you can add some other functions to format that or to send that flight data to an email address as an email. So you can do many things. That's an example of an AI app. Now, the LLM, the way this app communicates with the LLM is that it can be two ways, basically. If the LLM is in the cloud, as is the case with these so-called frontier LLMs, which are quite powerful, such as GPT from OpenAI, Gemini, Cloud. So these are in the cloud. They are running in some remote machine. So that means in your app, you have to access the API of these modules. And you put an API key there, so you get the data from that module through the API, and you send it to the graphical user interface. But the LLM can also be a local LLM. So that's the case for Llama, for example, which is open source. So these LLMs can be downloaded and installed in your local computer. So the module will run locally, not in the remote computer, but in your computer where the app is also running. These LLMs are very powerful, not as powerful perhaps as the frontier LLMs, but they can do most of the tasks. Now, let's move into RAG. This stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. It's basically the same thing as an AI app, but in addition, it also has data sets. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, let's say you want to make a chatbot where the user can ask queries about data, about weather, historical weather data. The problem is the LLM doesn't have that information, but that information, for example, it can be provided as text files or CSV files from the European weather dataset website. So there's tons of data spanning across 100 or 200 years, and they cover the entire Europe. So in that case, you can give that data set to your application. So the LLM will use that information to prepare an answer. So let's say you ask the LLM, was it sunny in Oslo in this date, 1956, for example? How was the weather? The LLM will normally, it doesn't know that information, right? Because it doesn't have that piece of data, but it will look in your data set and then it will prepare a response and then it will return that response together with the information about weather. So a RAG is like an AI app, plus it does have an extra data set to give more specialized information. We move into agents now, AI agents. What's the difference here? So this is the last one. AI agent. This uses an LLM, of course, and also functions. It might use datasets or it might use a UI, but that's not always the case. What's the difference here between an AI agent and a RAG and an AI app is that an agent also has access to apps. So let's go back to the example of the flight AI app where we ask the chatbot to give us flights, right? And the chatbot looked into some functions which get real flight data. Now, if you add into this app some code which accesses your Google Calendar, and the AI asks you if you want to add that flight to a Google Calendar, that date, as an event, the AI agent, it will add that to the calendar. So it will access the Google Calendar. And the way it accesses that is that there are Python APIs or Python wrappers to the actual Google Calendar API. So Python will add that event to the Google Calendar. So that's a simple example, but typically that's the difference. So an agent has apps access. Of course, the borders are a bit more gray than what I'm explaining here, but typically this is the difference between all these tools. So I hope that gives you some more information on top of what you know already. Thank you and see you in other videos.